They are not separated. Perfectly right. But you say it is an image that sees another image. Of course, I examined, I explored it, until I came to the point where I said, the observer is also the image. Only he has separated himself and observes. Sir, please, this requires a great deal of real looking, not accepting anything that anybody says. This observer has come into being through the memories of various images and their reactions. So the observer separates himself from the images, from the other images, and then says, how am I to get rid of these images? So this image is a permanent image, and this permanent image, which thinks it is permanent, says, I want to get rid of all the other images because they are really the cause of the trouble. They really bring conflict. So it puts the blame on the other images, whereas the observer, who is the image, he is the central cause of all this mischief. So the image must get rid of itself. Who is the entity that is going to get rid of it? Another image. It is really very important to understand this. Sir, if we look at these images, we see they are made of thought. If we look at the image of ourself, the observer, we see that it is he that builds up in the same way. I've got to this point. Yes, sir, you're perfectly right. We've got to that point. This awareness has revealed that there is a central image put together by other images, by various other images, which has taken precedence. It is the censor, the evaluator, the judge, and it says, I must get rid of all these others. So, between him and the others, there is a conflict. Right, sir? And we keep up this conflict all the time. And because we don't know how to resolve this conflict, we have further escapes, either through neurosis or through conscious, deliberate escapes, drink, church, whatever it is. As this awareness pushes itself deeper, not you push it, you ask, is the observer different from the other images? The other images are the result of judgments, of opinions, conclusions, hurts, nationality. So the observer is the result of all the other images. We are afraid of such complexity. But life is that. Therefore you are afraid of life. Therefore you escape from life. You see, you're not really paying complete attention to this, and that's why it's so difficult to talk against something. Look, sir, I have an image about you. That image has been put together by hurt, by like and dislike. That's a fact. That like and dislike has created another image in me, hasn't it? That like and dislike has created another image in me, hasn't it? Not only the image about you, but the other image, that I must not like or dislike, because it is absurd to like and dislike. Therefore I have built an image which says I must not like or dislike, which is the outcome of building an image and seeing what is implied in it. This brings the other image into being. Some minds don't work that way at all. I don't know how some minds work. Well, mine doesn't. Alright, we're talking about awareness, not how your mind works or my mind works. Supposing you don't create images. There's no question of supposing, but I don't. What do you mean, suppose? I'm not supposing if I feel it is a fact. What is a fact? If you say, I am a stupid person, won't it hurt you or hurt me? It won't hurt. Why should it? And being hurt are two different things. Why should it and being hurt are two different things? It won't hurt. Alright, it won't hurt, I'm very glad. You see how we go off in something very trivial. So the observer is the observed. You understand, sirs? There is the image of the observer. Between the observer and the various images he has around him, there is a division. There is a separation, a time interval, and hence he wants to conquer them. He wants to subjugate them. He wants to destroy them. He wants to get rid of them. And hence there is a conflict between the observer and the observed, right? And he says, as long as I have conflict, I must be in confusion. So he says, I must get rid of this conflict. The very desire to get rid of that conflict creates another image. Follow all this, sir, very closely. Awareness has revealed all this, which is to reveal the various states of my mind, reveal various images, the contradictoriness between the images, the conflict, the despair of not being able to do anything about it, the escapes, the neurotic assumptions, and so on. All that has been revealed through cautious, hesitant awareness, and there is an awareness that the observer is the observed. Please follow this. Not a superior entity is aware that the observer is the observed, but this awareness has revealed the observer as the observed. Not who is aware. Are you following all this? You know this is real meditation. Now can we proceed? Now what takes place when the observer realizes that he is the observed? He has realized it not through any form of intellectual concept, idea, opinion, enforcement. He has realized this whole structure through his awareness, by being aware of the colour of the shirt, the scarf, and moving deeper and deeper. Sir, I'm really extremely sorry to interrupt, but there's an important question I don't understand, and that is, you say awareness sees that the observer is the observed. Now, does that mean that he is actually that he is the actual observed, or the reaction to the observed? I don't quite understand your question, sir. Well, you say that the observer is the observed. I don't say it. All right, awareness discovers that. You said that. I did. So, here I have an image of you, let's say, and then awareness discovers that I am that observed. The observed is the image. Do you mean that the observer is the image of you that he sees, or is he a reaction to that image? Of course, he is the reaction to that image, and therefore he is the observed because he is that reaction. You understand now? Could you explain this a little more? Would you explain it, sir? Well, if you ask me to say something, then I will. Krishnamurti, go ahead, sir. We asked. You stand up or come here, whatever you like. Questioner 1. The speaker uses the words that it is seen that the observer is the observed. Now, we have been talking about things that are observed, a tree that is the observed. Does the speaker mean that awareness sees that I am that tree? No. He says that what I see is not the tree, I see an image of the tree. So therefore, does he mean that I, as the observer, am that image of the tree, or does he mean that I, as the observer, am the reaction to that image of the tree? That was my question. Krishnamurti, that's right, sir. You are the reaction to the image which you have created about that tree. If you had no image about that tree, there would be no observer. Questioner, sir, could one express this a little differently and say that the images that are built by like and dislike through innumerable associations about everything have also built up some conglomerate aggregate that has formed the observer? Now, when we understand this inwardly, without trying to understand it, but are simply aware of it. Krishnamurti, that's right, sir, that's perfectly right. Then you ask what happens. Now, I'm going into it. Yes, then continue. I'm going on. Krishnamurti, this awareness has revealed that the observer is the observed. Therefore, any action on the part of the observer only creates another image, naturally. If the observer has not realized that the observer is the observed, any movement on the part of the observer creates creates other series of images, and again he's caught in it. So what takes place? When the observer is the observer doesn't act at all. Go slowly, sir, go very slowly, because it's a very complex thing that we're going into now. I think this must be very clearly understood, otherwise we shan't go any further. The observer has always said, I must do something about these images. I must get rid of them, I must suppress them, I must transform them, I must give them a different shape. The observer has always been active with regard to the observed, right? I observe that I dislike my wife, for various reasons, and the observer says that I mustn't dislike her. I must do something about it, and so on. The observer is always active with regard to the thing observed, right, sir? You mean that we are reacting all the time with these images, constantly, in terms of like and dislike, and adding to them? That we are always doing this? Krishnamurti, that's right, and that this action of like and dislike on the part of the observer is called positive action. And that's what you mean when you say it is always active? Yes, it is what is called positive action. I like, therefore I must hold, or I don't like, therefore I must get rid of it. It's reacting either passionately or casually. But when the observer realizes that the thing about which he is acting is himself, what, sir? Questioner, the gentleman over there wanted some more clarity on the observer and the observed. Now what you said then was that these images are not the actual things themselves. You don't know what they are. You only react to these images continuously. And when we see that, then this conflict between the observer and the observed ceases. Krishnamurti, sir, keep it very simple. I look at that brown shirt and the scarf. If I say I don't like that brown shirt and the scarf, or I like them, I've already created an image which is a reaction. Questioner, and that stores up in the past, in memory. Krishnamurti, that's right. Now, can I look at that shirt and scarf without like and dislike, which is not to react to it, but merely to observe? then there is no image. You've got it, sir? Have you got that very simple thing? Look, sir, I see somebody has got a red shirt. I look at it, my immediate reaction is I like or dislike. Like and dislike is the result of my culture, of my training, of my tendency, my inclination, which has already an image which says, I don't like that shirt, I like that t-shirt, I like that shirt. So the like and dislike and the past training, culture, inherited tendency, all that has created the image. That is my central observer. That is the observer put together by dislike and so on. That observer is always separate from the thing he observes, obviously, and this awareness has revealed that the observer is the observed, right? The thing observed. Do you mean by that the image that the mind has built up? Krishnamurti, that's right, you've got it. Then, when the observer is the observed image, then there is no conflict between himself and the image. He is that. He's not separate from that. Before he was separate and took action about it, did something about it, reacted to it. But when the observer realizes he is that, there is no like or dislike. Sir, don't you examine yourself, sir? The observer is creating all the other images. No, I'm not going back into that, sir. We have gone into it sufficiently. You understand what we have said so far, that between the observer and the observed, between the image which the observer has created about himself and the images which he has created about various things, there is a separation, a division, and hence between himself and them. There is a conflict of like and dislike and reaction, and he is always doing something about it. Now, when the observer realizes he is the observed, the images, then conflict ceases. That is, when I realize I am fear, not that there is fear and me separate from that fear. Then I am that fear. I can't do anything. Follow this closely, because what am I to do? I am part of that fear. I am not separate from fear. Therefore I can look at that fear without any form of escape. I am that fear. I am that pain which I have now in the tummy or in my leg or whatever it is. I am that fear. So I don't rebel against it, or accept it, or run away from it. It is there. So all action, which is the outcome of the reaction of like and dislike, has come to an end. All right, you follow. Now what has happened? That's it. There is an awareness which is becoming more and more. I'm using more and more, not in the sense of time, more and more acute, sharp, intense. That's right, not wasting energy. It's becoming tremendously alive. It is not bound to any central issue or to any image, and it is becoming intensely aware. From that intensity, there comes a different quality of attention, right? And this intensity, sir, has no direction and no purpose. Watch it, sir. You don't have to ask me. Watch it yourself. The moment there is a choice in this awareness, then there is a direction directed by this observer, right? But when the whole pattern, when this whole structure has been understood, conflict has come to an end, and therefore the mind, because the mind is this awareness, has become extraordinarily sensitive, highly intelligent. Because sensitivity goes with intelligence. There is no intelligence without sensitivity, physical as well as psychological. The mind has become highly intelligent and sensitive, because that intelligence is not put together by any conflict. There is the intelligence which has been put together through conflict, which is the observer. The observer, separate from the observed, has its own intelligence. I don't want to go into that word. In this awareness, because it has exposed everything very clearly, there has been no choice. Choice only exists when there is confusion. And so, this awareness has removed every form of conflict. Therefore there is clarity, and this clarity is attention. Don't agree, please. This requires actual doing, not just agreeing. When there is this attention, in which there is no observer, nor observed, this attention is intelligence. In this attention there is no conflict whatsoever. Therefore there is no demand for anything. And this attention has its own activity, its own action. So there is an action which is not born out of the observer. When the observer acts, his action is always separate. Sir, look, we cannot go further into this matter unless you have actually done it. Actually do it. Then you will find that attention, being intelligence, is beauty and love, which the observer, separate, tries to imitate. Then the mind has no limit. 7th of August 1967.